The white professor was stunned. The medical manual he had spent years compiling had somehow ended up in the hands of the new janitor. But seeing the man so deeply immersed in its contents, the professor couldn't help but be curious.
You said you were a carpenter?
Yes.
He handed the janitor a pair of tongs and a test tube. To his surprise, the janitor picked it up with ease. The professor's eyes widened in disbelief. He raised the difficulty, use your left hand, but the janitor remained calm. And with near-perfect control, he picked up the test tubes, even managing to place 2 of them securely into the rack at once. The professor was astonished. Could this man have secretly studied his research notes? He pointed to a complex piece of lab equipment nearby. Do you know what that is? Without missing a beat, the janitor replied,
Van Slyke gas manometers, sir, doctor.
They are indeed.
This seemingly ordinary man, Thomas, was clearly anything but. Recognizing rare medical talent, the professor broke protocol and appointed Thomas as his assistant, determined to succeed in his new role. Thomas threw himself into learning, but his wife wasn't thrilled. The assistant job paid only $12 a week. Yet Thomas believed this was more than just work. It was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
He didn't take it because they didn't take me. Now I'm a lab assistant to a top surgeon at the #1 medical school in the country, and it's a real opportunity, and I love what I'm doing.
Just 2 weeks into the job, Thomas got his first chance to lead a procedure. A puppy had fallen, breaking 4 ribs. It was unconscious and unlikely to survive. The only hope was to try a then experimental method to treat traumatic shock. Under the professor's guidance, Thomas made a careful incision, but the puppy's blood pressure kept falling. The professor suggested the usual method, constrict the blood vessels, but Thomas remembered from his own studies that it wouldn't work. He decided to try something bold, blood transfusion. So the numbers kept dropping. It seemed the procedure had failed. Then suddenly, the blood pressure began to rise. Life was returning. They had saved the puppy and made a breakthrough in trauma treatment. The professor rushed to Thomas. Did you record everything? But Thomas looked confused. What's a recorder? The professor exploded with frustration. If this wasn't documented, it's all worthless.
A whole day's work goes down the toilet and I have to start all over again. Do you have sawdust or just plain shit for breakfast?
Though Thomas dreamed of being a doctor, the harsh words wounded his pride. He couldn't take the insult and walked out on the job. The professor, still fuming, didn't stop him, but moments later, he spotted a notebook on the desk. Inside were detailed notes of the entire procedure. Realizing his mistake, the professor grabbed his coat and ran out after Thomas, sincerely apologizing and swearing it would never happen again.
It won't happen again.
Yes, I've tried it.